This is Emily.
Henley.
And Sammy.
And you're listening to TV Scary Didn't Watch. Hi, everyone. Welcome to TV Scary Didn't Watch, the horror TV show recap / discussion podcast for the scared and the brave alike. I am Sammy, and I am watching Alien Earth, and we are halfway through this season. And it is my great joy and pleasure to tell you all that we got a chance to talk to two of the stars of the show, Alex Lawther and Samuel Blenkin. You may know Alex from Andor, from The End of the Fucking World, and from one of my favorites, The Last Duel. He plays Joe Hermit in Alien Earth. And you may have seen Samuel in Peaky Blinders, Black Mirror, and recently he was in Mickey 17 with our boy Rob Pattinson. Samuel plays none other than Boy Cavalier in Alien Earth. And Alex and Samuel were kind enough to join us for a conversation, and we just had the best time chatting with them. So we hope you enjoy it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you all?
Good.
Right.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Here we go.
Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to get to talk to you. We love the show so much.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure.
We're really excited to talk to you about Alien Earth, but before we do, our first question that we always ask our guests is just, could you tell us a little bit about your feelings about horror movies in general, if there were any formative horror experiences as a kid, anything like that?
Sam, do you want to go first?
Yes.
Huge nod. We've got something ready to go.
I really struggle with horror movies. I mean, like
do.
proper ones, like proper scary ones. Like everyone always talks to me about like Hereditary, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like some of the things that I have heard described from that kind of film, or the feeling of that. I'm like, I'm never going anywhere near that film. I'm just not capable of doing it. I really like, I like sort of psychological, you know, the more sort of psychological side, but yeah, I can't really do horror films. I remember really vividly I watched Kill Bill, which isn't really a horror film, but I was like at a sleepover and I was about 7 or 8 years old and I watched Kill Bill.
There's always a sleepover that...
Yeah, we all watched a movie too young at someone else's house. That's like a very universal experience.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the person, but that scarred me for life.
Yeah, because I haven't seen Kill Bill, I feel like in so long, but her like trapped underground. There are so many parts of Kill Bill. Sorry, not to re-traumatize you or anything. We don't need to.
That's so sweet. I hadn't thought of Kill Bill as a scary movie at all. Gory, I guess. Like,
I love it now. I love it now, but I found it very scary when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Was it the yellow what's it called? Was it her yellow outfit that was scary? Or
really scary outfit.
It was just.
Do you remember when she wakes up on the table and like she hasn't eaten, but she, I can't remember exactly, but she wakes on the table and she's like touching her stomach and crawling. Scary.
Oh, it's so scary.
Yep.
Okay.
Scary.
Alex,
things have not got better as I've got older. No.
Okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, so you're team Emily and Henley. We had to stay away.
I will not watch Hereditary. I know every single thing that happens in it, and I will still never, ever look at it.
Scary.
It's a tough one.
I'm still sort of weirdly seduced by horror films, but I went to go see recently Bring Her Back with the amazing Sally Hawkins.
That is a tough one too.
It's such a tough one. And I still have quite a bit. There's that moment with, I don't think it's much of a spoiler, but there's a moment with a knife and the child and the knife that I'm just talking to someone or like having dinner at a restaurant and I have like just a vivid flashbacks, sort of an intrusive thought of that moment.
Yeah.
And I have to stop what I'm doing. It's so deeply disturbing.
I couldn't, but I do have to tell you, I haven't even told you this, but
Did
I
you
did
read the submarine?
I Wikipedia
Yeah,
the
of course you
goddamn
did.
plot.
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
the knife moment.
Yes.
Sam, I don't know if you know about it. You don't need to. It's bad. It's really bad.
Okay.
Have you seen it, Sam? Will you go see that film?
Sammy saw it.
Mm?
Sally
No.
Hawkins is incredible in it.
She's
I know,
great.
I
You know
love
what?
her. I wanted to
She's
see it.
incredible in so many
Yeah,
things.
me
You
too.
could find
Yeah.
watch Paddington.
Stick with
you know,
Paddington.
it's, that's like much nicer.
Yes, watch Paddington. Absolutely happy-go-lucky. She's amazing at The Shape of Water.
Yes.
The Shape of Water, yeah.
Which is not, it's like got a monster in it, but not a scary film.
Yeah, I watched Bring Her Back with a Friend, and specifically at the knife moment, she said, "I'll never forget this, and I'm different now." It sounds like you're having a similar experience.
Yes, and it's also like not a useful. I did really enjoy the film, and I loved Sally in it. It's so horrific that I don't know what to do with it. Like I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed me. Yeah, in a not good way. It's just left me.
It's just with you now. Like that's
Yes.
just you from here on out. Is knowing that that's possible.
And it's not a sort of grow. I haven't grown from it, and I don't think I will.
It was one in that episode we talked about. There are a handful of horror movies that make us kind of question, like, why are we doing this? Why are we subjecting our audience to this? And that one moment did just push us over the edge just a little bit. But
God alive.
Are there horror movies that you do that you have positive feelings of, like that you enjoy?
I loved Signs growing up. I don't know if you remember that film.
Ooh, scary.
Okay.
Yeah, really scary, but like scary and like quite like spine-chillingly scary. And I love. Is it Dakota Fanning that's in it? And she's like,
I think
maybe
so.
10 years old. Yeah,
Yes.
she's excellent, and she leaves those glasses of water all over the house, and then
Yep.
it's that's the thing that gets the alien. And there's that moment at the kid's birthday party that's like a VHS recording, and the
That's
alien
the
is
one.
walking along,
That's
and
the
then turns.
moment. Mhm.
That's why I don't know why that's so. It spoke to something sort of some deep fear inside of me.
Yeah.
Of like watching something and then it turning and knowing it's being watched. That is actually really deeply unnerving. Responsible for many a nightmare, that film. But weirdly, I sort of love it. I sort of love that film.
It's a great one.
As much as it chills me.
Well, speaking of aliens, what was both of your relationships with the Alien franchise in general before getting cast in this show? Were you fans? Samuel, I'm thinking maybe you were a little scared of them.
Yeah, that's one of the rare. Actually, the original film, that first film, that was one of the rare films. I watched that when I was, I think, maybe like 14 or 15 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember somehow quite enjoying being able. I think sci-fi somehow, because it's kind of remote. It's on a spaceship. It's not set on Earth. It's not like in a house somewhere in Gloucestershire, where I'm from. Like it wasn't that close to me. It was like we're on a spaceship in space. That's fine. And I loved that feeling of not knowing. The motion trackers beeping and like not knowing where the creature. You know what I mean? I somehow in that particular film I managed to really enjoy that feeling, because you don't see the creature so much, and it's I saw it then, and it's I think now I've rewatched it so many times, it's kind of had quite a big cultural impact on me, I guess, on everyone. Like it's a seminal mad piece of work. So that was kind of the first time I watched it, and then there was a big gap. I actually rewatched it in order to get ready for the show when I found out I was doing the show. So it was a bit like a really big gap, which is great, because suddenly you're watching, you're like, oh, it's also a political story, and also it's it's like the design and the world building, the things that had been swallowed inside the experience of watching the film at a young age. I got to rewatching it was like a really rewarding experience.
I feel like my recent watching of Alien before we started shooting this version has overwritten my first experience of, which I'm sure that I had an experience. I have like sort of a shadow memory of watching it, somehow involving my mum showing it to me as a teenager. But I have nothing concrete with which to like pin that accusation on. But I since watched it, and was also sort of marveling about how like that director Ridley Scott, he also did Thelma and Louise, like his the span of what
he's kind of kooky. He's kind of all over the place.
He's so kooky. Yeah, what range? Oh my god,
absolutely.
Which I find quite extraordinary. Like as an actor, I would love to say, that I went from Alien to doing like a feminist car movie, like which ends in running off a cliff. Amazing for that, I think, like where it's placed in his own filmography. And I've said this before, but there's just certain design elements of that film that I love. Not only like the fact that you don't really meet the alien until 45 minutes in, you don't know who the protagonist is really until they will start dying off and you end up with Ripley. Obviously Susan Sarandon, Sigourney Weaver. Sorry, now I'm still with them. Also amazing, Susan Sarandon. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Sally, Susan, Sigourney. We'll talk about all of them.
It would be cool if we were in that TV show.
Yeah,
I wish we were in that TV show, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Season two. And yeah, things like I have a really strong image of John Hurt in his little leotard when he gets operated on and stuff like that. There's sort of strange design, sort of beautiful, quite like interesting design choices that I love about that film. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the design, and like one of the most amazing things about the Alien franchise is the practical effects. And it's so cool to see in this show, the alien looks like the alien that we are used to, the face huggers. And one of my favorite things about when movies and shows use practical effects is like we're really looking at a real thing. And I'm so curious what it was like for you guys being in the room with those practical effects, those creature designs, and like, are you seeing what we're seeing? Like, what is it like being close to those things?
Yeah, well, this is an Alex question, really. Okay. Alex spent a lot of time in the company.
Yeah, Alex, what's it like fighting
titular creature?
What's it like doing hand-to-hand combat with the xenomorph?
I know, not much combat really, because like there's not much you can do. Although Sydney's character Wendy seems to be, thank God that she keeps turning up and saving my ass. It's both sort of like really useful, obviously, like in a practical sense, because you're just responding to what you're seeing, and then there's just the surrealness of. Because those things take so long. Those small sequences take weeks to shoot because they are so difficult technically. And it is a guy in a suit called Cameron. But there's also a team around him of people that are controlling his tail. And so to get a small amount of screen time takes a long time. So there's a sort of like stamina that's required. There's a lot of like doing that quite cringe actor thing of doing a lot of press ups before they say action, so that your heart rate is
kind of a little flushed.
Because at first, yeah, exactly. Because at first you're like, oh yeah, this is scary. I'm running away from a xenomorph. But then by like week 2, and
you're like, no, I'm running from Cameron and like 8 people with rods. Like,
yeah, and like, I just want to bath and go home. But yeah, I think that is definitely preferable to. Subjecting people to watching me imagining being chased by a man in a xenomorph suit. So
tennis ball on a stick type of thing.
Yeah, I wonder, did they still do that? I've heard
I have no idea, actually.
The lore of that, but I've never actually come across it. Or, I don't know. Sam, have you ever had to do tennis ball acting?
Tennis ball acting?
Like intense green screen stuff?
No, I've never done like a creature thing, where they've got like something to represent the creature, but it's like just a crisp packet or something. I've never had to do that.
Like but the Beauty and the Beast shots
Right.
that I shall never forget of
Oh,
what's his
yeah.
name as the
Oh,
Dan
Beast,
Stevens
Dan
in like
Stevens
on
and his
big
Beast.
stilts and
Emma Watson having to
green cushy
pretend
suit.
like she's in love with him.
Yeah, that's proper acting. We didn't have to do any proper acting on this show because they made everything real. So, you know,
Just said
it's
Well,
yeah.
Speaking of that, were there any moments on set? I mean, with the creatures or otherwise, where you got actually scared?
Oh yeah.
I was. I don't know whether we can talk about it because the episode's out. But like, you know, I have got a lot of time with a sheep in the show.
Yes.
Yes.
My character, man, he loves this sheep. He gets really attached to this sheep. And what was amazing is that I ended up acting with a couple of different sheep. One of them was real. Victoria the sheep. She was amazing.
Victoria.
Best actor I've ever worked with.
Oh.
Such presence.
Alex, is that hard to hear?
That's so really sad. Me and Sam have done actually 2 jobs together, so that really cuts deep.
Oh,
Sam.
yeah, that's really, well, I mean,
Stings.
star power, and it sounds like Victoria has it. And what can you do?
Not coming back season 2.
I think it's important to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria was amazing. And the way that they got Victoria to stay still is they'd have this long green pole with like a little green glove on that was stuffed with like straw, and they'd rub Victoria's belly from like across the room. And that way Victoria would know to stay still.
Amazing.
Wow.
And she was amazing and quite unnerving. And there were a couple of takes where, you know, even though somebody was rubbing her belly with a giant pole with a glove on the end, I was looking into her eyes, obviously. And Victoria's looking sort of straight forward.
Yeah.
That was quite scary because obviously Victoria is not pretending, she's just being victorious. And there was just something about seeing her alive in that environment, you know, inside the amazing like laboratory.
Yeah.
I was a little bit creeped out by that. I had a little moment. I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
I mean, there's a reason why they use sheep and goats so often in horror films because it's like staring at and their eyes it's a little scary.
Their eyes are in the wrong place. It feels like their eyes,
and they're like
so
little
dark.
rectangles. Their pupils are like kind of rectangular.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's freaky, but they're also cute.
Comes across
They
in
are
the
super
episode.
cute.
It is unnerving, that
It is
stare,
unnerving, but I also-
Victoria's 1,000-yard stare.
As soon as she showed up, I was like, "Oh, she's so cute! Oh no!"
I know you can't be that cute and not get punished on this show. You know, in this universe.
Yeah.
I think that speaks for all the characters as well. You can't be cute. But yeah, that was quite a scary moment. I mean, there was also an animatronic sheep as well, so they kind of used the animatronic one with that was horrible in its own way. But like real life Victoria, that she was properly creepy. Yeah.
Alex, any moment that you got
Get
scared?
Yeah, I think your body doesn't really know the difference when you're pretending to be scared, and you're doing all of the physical things, like sort of hyperventilating and raising your heartbeat, and then you start sweating, and like all of those things mean that your body thinks that you should be frightened of something. It's just interesting how that sort of bleeds inwards, and then you go home and you sleep it off and you think, wow, what a weird job I have. And I think there was something that it wasn't really fear, but there was an awe of like just the scale of the show. I'd never been part of something that had sets that were that detailed and that big, and being part of something that had such a pre-existing history to it, that took a little while in filming just to get over. And to just enjoy the being with a great bunch of actors and with a good piece of text, to sort of jump the hurdle of the size of the thing itself, was like scary in a different way, I guess.
Yeah.
People are gonna have strong feelings.
People have feelings
about
about it.
any adaptation. Certainly something like Alien that like means so much to so many people, I can imagine that would be very daunting.
Yeah, and it's thrilling in a way because then you get to talk to people about the work in a different way than something, a story that is the first of something. So you can have sort of quite interesting conversations around the subject, and also when you're talking to friends about what it is you're up to, they're like, "Oh, I've seen that film," and and everybody has a relationship to seeing the first movie, and that's all interesting. But yeah, it does have its own daunting aspect too.
Yeah. Was it scary being barefoot all the time, Samuel? Were you ever worried you're going to step on something?
No.
Did you ever step on something?
No, I never stepped on anything. I was not worried for a second. I don't know why.
Was it very comfortable? Were you like the most comfortable person on set, I can imagine?
No. Yeah, I guess my ego is just as big as my character's ego, I guess, because I was just walking around set. I got chased by ADs quite a lot to like please put on your slippers. Like don't walk around. But it's something I think I became really attached to. I just became really attached to that feeling. That was like I guess every job for me anyway, the experience of like finding out what a character's like, it's always very different. But I don't have a set method of finding out what it's going to be. And sometimes you stumble on things and you're like, that's what it is. It's that feeling. And like walking around with bare feet was the feeling like for that character. So I wanted to sort of live in that quite often and have that sense of ownership over the sets. And it was so funny. It was like, there were plans for me to wear shoes, and then I just didn't wear them and nobody cared. So we got to the end of the shoot and I was like, I did it. We didn't wear a single pair of shoes in the show.
Wow. So you don't wear shoes the whole season? That's wild.
No, I don't think I do. No.
It really works.
Were your feet filthy at the end of the day? Did you have to scrub them clean?
I didn't scrub them, but I just let them become hard and calloused and
sort of had
rock
hobbit
solid.
feet by the end of it.
There you go.
Yeah, they were, solid as a rock, quite scary things to behold. But luckily I didn't have to do any, I didn't do any kind of exterior like out, down, and I didn't do any stuff outside, but I think it would have been slightly different then in Thailand.
So your character obviously is a trillionaire and
world's youngest trillionaire. Congrats.
World's youngest trillionaire.
Hey,
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Huge achievement. Did playing a trillionaire, like how did that impact the way that you think about wealth? Or did it impact the way that you think about wealth? Did it change like your perception of anything when it comes to...
You still very much aspire to personally be a trillionaire and feel no sort of qualms about that.
I don't have any qualms about my desires to be. No, I'm joking. I'm not sure if it changed the way that I personally think about wealth, but I think anytime that you're physically, it's exactly the same thing that Alex said about like when you've got your breath up and when you're running and you're pretending that you're a certain way, your body doesn't know the difference. And one thing that, I think it's sort of accumulation, isn't it? It's like for this character, it's all about accumulating and gathering things to put towards himself. And it's just very, very possessive. So I'd like to think that I'm not really like that. So I'm not sure if it changed my personal relationship with wealth and, what money and therefore power can do to people, but actually physically experiencing it and being somebody who is kind of looking at everybody else and going, I own you, or like I have the potential to own you, or like how could I own you more, or how could I buy that? How could I, one thing that I love is that the character always goes on about the fact that money doesn't matter to him. There's several points in the show where he's like, I don't care about money. And like, if you drill deep down into that, like, I think the expectation of the status that money brings, it has become so built into who he is as a person. It would be really interesting to see what he would be like without all of that. You know what I mean? It becomes your identity, I guess.
Yeah. It almost like removes your ability to imagine anything else. It almost like limits one's own imagination in a strange way, because it's like so taken for granted that it will always be there.
yeah, that's us, isn't it? I guess that's human beings. We're so good. Our brains are so good at adapting to the new normal. It's like the curse of good taste, isn't it? It's like once you've had a really nice cup of coffee,
let's
you've had a
talk about
really
that.
nice cup of coffee.
The burden of knowing what you like.
Oh.
You can never go back.
My brother, I blame my brother for this. He is like mad on coffee, and I wasn't. I just had, like instant coffee or whatever for years. I didn't really care. And then he made me a coffee with his little hand grinder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you've done it now. You've hurt me. Like, now I need to get my own coffee grinder and things. So yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's just like our brain's way of putting us into the, it makes every situation normal. And even though he's quite a heightened, larger than life character, it is all normal for him. So I just try to walk around and be normal. And yeah, that's quite scary how easy that was.
Oh,
yeah.
Got the chills.
Henley got a chill.
Scary.
Wait, speaking of chills, Alex, do you love the movie Ice Age? Do you love
And
it?
specifically Ice Age 4.
Do you love it now?
Love it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a reference point for me personally growing up. I think it was probably one of those films that we watched. Did you do that in the States? Like when it's kind of the last day of term or like a semester or whatever, or just before summer? You don't really do lessons. You just go into school and
Yeah,
We're
we're
just
buying
watching movies.
And, yeah.
It's
Or like
we still
gym
have to be
classes
here,
watching
but
movies.
Yes,
I would
but
say we
like, there's
probably
no
do that in
point.
the States a lot. Our
Regularly.
education's
A lot.
not so good.
We had a math teacher, we would do that all the time. He would just like play YouTube videos because he thought that like our class was really good and really got it. And I really didn't. And I was really struggling. And I remember just being like, oh no, like I'm quite happy that we're not doing the work, but also like I'm really going to fail.
Am I going to need this? Oh no.
I'm really behind on my maths.
Yeah. And everyone else is like, yeah, come on, one more video. Anyway, Ice Age, yeah, what a classic. I think it was nice that there was more actually, and it didn't make the cut sadly, but there were a lot of references to the stuff that they shared as youngsters. There was a piece of music. There was Ice Age, of course. There was sort of like quite tangible things that connected Wendy and her sibling Hermit. That, yeah, I think is a really nice texture, isn't it? In a world that is otherwise quite bleak and, full of automatons and aliens, that there's like Sid from Ice Age. I think it's surprising in a nice way.
Is there anything during the process that you found more challenging than you expected it to be, and anything that was like easier than you would have thought of like entering this very heightened world?
Do you want to go, Sam, or should I?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, I'd never been to Asia before we started shooting this show. And I was so excited to go, but also it's like, it's only when you leave to go live somewhere for 6 months, you realize maybe how much of a homebody you are, or how much comfort you take from, like your home and your space and that kind of thing. And, we were unbelievably lucky to be staying in Bangkok and staying, with an amazing group of people and things. But I was really intimidated by that, about how I was going to sort of like how it was going to be living out there. And actually, Alex and I ended up hanging out quite a lot because I like wanted to make sure that I was out there like doing things and seeing the city and things. And Alex was a particularly adventurous member of the company, I felt. So I just sort of clocked that and I was like, okay, I'll stick with Alex. That's fine, because Alex will go do cool things and I can tag along. And also just being bowled over by like the generosity of the Thai crew. I mean, it was unreal how welcoming and how generous they were. And there were, sometimes there were 600, 700 people on set.
Wow.
There'd be like
Huge.
250 Thai carpenters who'd be building the next set on the next stage. We'd be filming on the other stage.
Wow.
And that's an overwhelming amount of people. And I felt like particularly the Thai crew and the Thai ADs, everyone on set was amazing, but they really welcomed us and put us at ease. So I've done my kind of 2-in-1 there. I was like worried about going, but was bowled over by the culture there and hospitality and stuff. We were really welcomed, and it was quite moving to see that. It's quite moving to know that there's that many people working towards one thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just very easy for, you walk on and do your thing. And when somebody says action, it feels like that's the center of the universe. And I guess in some ways that is on set, but the scale of that show was like made me feel a little bit humble about the fact that we're going on and doing our bit, but it's only one part of the puzzle of that gigantic show. So yeah, it was pretty cool experience.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much work it takes to create a show like this and how many people need to be involved. I mean, that is an astonishing amount of people who are also all like, a lot of them are so specialized in like artisans, essentially,
Yes.
creating these costumes, creating these props, creating the set
have
dressing.
To be so united on the same vision for it all to work. I mean, that we can't. I keep talking about society at large, but we can't like make anything happen cohesively. But like that many people can come together for that show. That is like very beautiful and moving that can work.
Yeah. It's sort of quite mad, really. It's and sometimes there's language barriers and there's big cultural differences between Brits and Americans and Thai people, and yeah, it's amazing that can create something cohesive. And there's several different, even sort of like the larger components, like the episode. I always find this interesting with TV that like the episodes are often directed by different people, and yet they have to tonally have some coherence. And there's a showrunner, there's Noah Hawley, who's there sort of as our overlord. And
that's what he makes you call him.
Yeah, absolutely. In emails, it is sort of an expensive feat of engineering. But we were really lucky that it was I think there's something to say a generalization, but in Thai culture, there is a real thing of being a good host and even sort of to their own detriment sometimes, going out of one's way to welcome another person, which when you are a guest there, as we were, we were extraordinarily lucky, because I'm sure we were a real pain in the ass. These sort of transplants.
Awful.
I think
really rude people.
Actors, who needs them, man? There's such a having to wrangle all of us 5 days a week from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Having these sort of just children arrive that you are semi-responsible for.
But it looks incredible, and from the first episode you can see that amount of collaboration that went into it, and it just feels so grand and epic. And so it really all came together.
It all came together. Everybody did it.
Good job, everybody.
Okay, wait, I'm just tangentially curious about these adventures. What sort of adventures are we talking about?
Oh yeah, do you have a favorite thing you did in Thailand?
We love, a peaceful activity. Sam is a really keen potter, if I may say that, Sam. So, loves ceramics.
Sammy does pottery.
I was going to say maybe it's a Sam thing.
It might be a Sam thing.
Among Sam's.
Sam isn't determinism. And there's just sort of like beautiful places to go have coffee in Bangkok, and there's amazing little neighborhoods with artisans, and you can go into their shops and the food is amazing, and you can spend all day going around on the back of a motorbike, and it's just sort of it's also like 100% humidity, so you just spend the whole day sweating and wondering when you're going to take your next shower. And then on the weekends, if we had time away, you can go further afield, and you're never that far from an island or from a beach, and it's sort of the most beautiful place you've ever been to, Yeah, and the nightlife is great in Bangkok as well. It must be said. And, we went bouldering quite a bit, I think.
Oh, cool.
Like rock climbing, you know.
Yeah.
And
Indoors, FYI.
Yeah. We didn't go
100%
to
humidity.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
What else also
TV
TV show insurance.
Yeah,
We
fair enough.
soft landing.
we can go
Kind
outside.
of important that you not like gravely injure yourself on a big rock.
Grave
being on the
injuries.
motorbike actually wasn't allowed. I remember the producers sending out memos being like, please stop going on the back of motorbikes.
Stop doing that.
And we were like, no, we're too far away from home for you to tell us what to do. So a lot of that. Yeah.
Well, what was each of your kind of favorite memories? Just one highlight, standout moment. I guess it doesn't have to be the number one, but something that comes to mind that you'll think about when thinking back on this experience.
The opposite of the knife with
you're
bring her
living
back.
somewhere,
The
so
opposite.
I can see your brain.
Now having spoken, so just to say about these motorbikes, basically essentially like an Uber or something in the States. It's called Grab. I'm just doing an advert for Grab now, but there's this thing called Grab, and you order it like you would an Uber, and someone rocks up on the bike and you put a helmet on and get on the back of them and they drive you to where you put your destination into. And there's something about that, like doing that and then having a headphone in and listen to some music, and it's 100% humidity and it's, the sun setting in Bangkok. There's like something so all encompassing about that particular activity that is quite small and includes a lot of like sitting in traffic. Mm-hmm. But I loved the methods of transportation, and the sky train I really loved in Bangkok as well. And then going further afield, like my partner came towards the end of shooting and we had a month being able to go up north to Chiang Mai, and then we went to a few islands and went swimming and saw the most extraordinary sea creatures, and it's another Amazing. Planet from London,
right?
And so cool. Just sort of visually, if nothing else. What about you, Sam?
I'm trying to think of a shooting based one. Just trying to think of a specific day on set. I remember really, I really enjoyed that day when we worked together for the first time, Alex. Like, you remember? It's that scene our characters meet in episode 4. You don't remember, do you?
No, I do, and I'm like, what are you doing to my sister? That bit.
Yeah, but it's just like Alex said, we met years ago because we did a tiny little bit on the French Dispatch, the Wes Anderson film, where we were in our kind of little white tank tops in one of the sequences, and we were in it for about 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, the tank top boys.
Yeah.
The stars of the film.
Blenkin,
those little old tank top boys. But yeah, we met on that, and before I'd met Alex, I hated him because Alex would always get all of the jobs that I would go up for. Basically,
I almost didn't get this job because they were like, we've already cast this guy as Boy K, and you look really similar to him, and you did a great audition, but like, we're really worried that people would just be like, wait, is that Hermit or is that
the evil guy? Seeing right now?
Kirsten.
Which I think is crazy. Sort of like semi-curly, wavy hair and our skinniness and our white boyishness.
Young eyes. But it was difficult when I met Alex, because obviously I was like looking up to Alex going like, wow, he's doing amazing stuff. And therefore I hate him. I'm joking. But then when I met him in person, it's not possible to hate Alex. So then, I sort of fell in love with him a bit. And then getting a chance to finally, because, we worked a little bit together on that, but only fleetingly. And we got a full day, like a full scene and a couple of scenes later on. And that was like, I remember that being a really nice kind of full circle moment.
We didn't get enough time, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
No, I would have loved for Hermit to anyway, it's not spoiling too much, but I really wish I got to tell you what I think of you as Boy Cavalier.
Well,
would you like to say it now? Is there anything that you will need to get off your chest? Or?
No, guys, I'm not my character. I'm not my. Please.
Yeah, without spoiling anything, can you tell us anything? Some emotional like things about
what's to come? What
what's
should
to
we be
come?
excited about?
What episode
We're
is
up to
everybody on?
episode 4,
which actually it was really cool that it was. I thought that when I was watching, I was like, oh, this is the first time we've seen them together.
Yeah, now we get to talk to them.
Cool.
Yay!
And now here you are. But so we're only at the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
the next
there's
episode
so far to go.
is really gonna pull the rug out from your feet, I think.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Emily had a feeling.
I said episode 5. I have a
She knew.
feeling.
Yeah. Which is good. It's so clever, isn't it? How going back to like how you solve a problem, like 8 episodes of telly. There's got to be things that keep that momentum going. I think that must be one of the hardest things as the showrunner is to sort of it is the sort of like seeing the forest for the trees and working out how to like build that forest in a cohesive way. And in the way
Noah's
that
very good at it.
He's very good at that.
Yeah, he
Very good
is.
at
He is.
Really good at it.
Very, very good Forrester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think that there's just going to be more terror coming, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
It just gets crazier and crazier. It sort of just like rackets up all the way to the end.
I mean, we've sort of just been really slowly like, okay, and now they're all together, and now there's a bunch of aliens, and now they're like really being like playing it way too fast and loose with what these aliens are about to like. It's fun to feel those seeds being planted and know that time is shortening when all of that's gonna.
And that glass
up.
cage,
Really
that glass
fun.
cage is not strong enough. We got to do some reinforcements.
Can only end badly, can't it?
It can only end badly.
Exactly.
Well, we can't wait.
We can't wait.
We can't wait to see it. And thank you guys again so much for joining us. And we are telling all our listeners, go watch Alien Earth. We're at the halfway point. You've got time to catch up. And you heard it here first. It's going to get crazy. And it can only get badly.
If you didn't suspect, now you know. Things are going to be bad.
Yes, it's coming. Thanks so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Guys.
Thank you. It's so lovely. Enjoy your evenings.
Thank you. It just started raining. So.
Oh, wow.
It just started raining here too. But I'm going to go and swim in a pond.
That's so magical.
There you go.
Wow, that's very dreamy.
Swim in a pond in the rain.
That's really nice.
The most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life.
Have you read that book by George?
Yeah,
beautiful
by George
book.
Saunders.
Oh, it's so excellent.
George.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We love
so
George.
You're going to go live that
George.
life.
I am like a Russian mercantile class man.
Really, like getting back to your roots. All you need is the earth. You're not a trillionaire. Like, just give you the outdoors,
touching grass,
a pond.
literally touching grass.
And a dacha, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you, guys.
Thanks so
Thank you
much,
guys
guys.
so much.
Aren't those two just the freaking sweetest? What an absolute treat. I'm even more excited for the second half of the season now. And we hope that you are watching and enjoying and listening to TVSDW along with us. And if you're not and you would like to be, you can find episodes at patreon.com/TSDW podcast.